Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a really interesting audio recording you shared with us. It's from Dr. Pell,
That's right.
and it's all about the power of gratitude journaling. It touches on some ideas we thought were definitely worth exploring a bit more.
Absolutely. We're going to, dig into Dr. Pell's own story with thankfulness, how she interprets a specific, well-known biblical verse,
Hmm.
and this connection she makes, which is fascinating, between keeping a gratitude journal and, well, manifestation, things happening in her life.
Right. And for you, the learner, if you're hoping to quickly grab the key ideas, maybe have one of those aha moments without getting bogged down.
Yeah.
Our goal here is really to pull out the main principles from Dr. Pell's message and see what they're all about.
Okay.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Dr. Pell talks about how she first got started with gratitude, and it wasn't like some huge, complicated thing, was it?
No, not at all. That's
Yeah.
right. She describes a very accessible start, just deciding to thank God for 5 specific things every day.
Just 5 things.
Just 5 things. And what's interesting is how that simple, consistent act really became the basis for something much deeper later on.
Right.
It kind of shows how big changes can really start with these small, manageable steps.
Exactly. It wasn't just like checking off boxes for her either. She explains it sort of grew, naturally evolved into what she calls a prayer conversation,
Mhm.
which sounds like, a much deeper level of engagement, moving past just acknowledging things to something more personal.
That's a really key distinction, I think. It points to a shift from maybe a routine practice to a really felt sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
And this seems to be where that verse, 1 Thessalonians 5:18, comes in for her.
Hmm.
In everything, give thanks.
Right.
But she emphasizes a particular way of understanding that.
Yes. She specifically says she learned to give thanks even in the midst of while the tears were falling. That's pretty powerful, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, being grateful when things are good is one thing, but finding it when things are genuinely tough, that takes a different kind of mindset.
It absolutely does. It suggests a real active choice,
Yeah.
choosing to see any positive, maybe just a sliver, even when things are difficult.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, being able to do that, find gratitude in tough times. That could be a really strong tool for building resilience, psychologically speaking.
That makes sense. And then she brings up that story about Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, right.
Apparently, Oprah said something about thanking God for a little and then receiving more because of it.
Yes, that's the anecdote.
And Dr. Pell connects that to her own life. When she felt like she was basically starting life all over again with her son, gratitude was key for her then.
Well, what's interesting there is that principle, right? Appreciating what you have now, no matter how small it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Psychologically, focusing on what you do have rather than what you lack can shift your whole perspective. It might even make you more open to seeing, new opportunities.
So, building on that foundation, that active practice, she moved into gratitude journaling. And the things she wrote down, they're quite relatable, aren't they? Very everyday things.
Totally. Things like waking up, hearing birds sing,
Yeah.
blessings for her family, her kids, healing body and heart. She says provision.
Even the door. I thought that was interesting.
Exactly. That level of detail is kind of important, I think. It shows a real conscious effort to notice the stuff we usually just take for granted.
Right, like a door.
Yeah, listing the door really hits home that idea of appreciating the fundamentals, the things that give us basic security and comfort. It's like a reminder to actually look around.
And it sounds like the practice grew beyond just hitting that number, the 5 things. She says she became so immersed that counting wasn't the point anymore.
It shifted,
It was just about expressing the gratitude itself.
which suggests it really became part of her, internalized. Gratitude wasn't a chore anymore, but more like just how she saw things.
Right.
And that kind of immersion probably, likely amplified the positive feeling she was getting from it.
Okay, and here's where it takes another interesting step. She mentions this consistent journaling eventually led to gratitude prayers.
Yes.
How do you read that transition? What's happening there?
Well, it seems like the act of writing it down, regularly acknowledging blessings, maybe fostered a more direct, personal kind of communication.
Okay.
Taking that feeling of thankfulness and channeling it into, prayer. It
Yeah.
feels like a natural step, moving from recognition to active expression, maybe seeking a deeper connection.
And this leads to what feels like the core of her message, really.
Which is?
That these gratitude prayers then became a catalyst for manifestation.
Right, the M word.
Yeah. She uses that famous story, Jesus feeding the 5,000.
The loaves and fishes.
And she highlights the detail that Jesus offered up thanks unto God before the food was multiplied, and they ended up with leftovers.
12 baskets full, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where Dr. Pell really draws that direct line.
Yeah.
Giving thanks leads to positive outcomes appearing.
Oh.
For her, that miracle story is a powerful illustration. Gratitude came before the abundance. Now, it's important, I think, for you, the learner, to know that manifestation can mean different things to different people.
Good point.
From Dr. Pell's view, it seems rooted in a spiritual idea to express gratitude, and it helps bring about good things. But you could also look at it psychologically.
How so?
Well, focusing on gratitude can genuinely shift your mindset. It might make you more optimistic, more open to seeing chances, maybe more likely to actually do things that lead to good results.
That's a really useful way to frame it, offering both perspectives. And she's clearly passionate about sharing this.
Oh, absolutely.
She talks about wanting to help people and that leading her to create these empowerment and gratitude journals. She calls them Superpower life-changing tools.
That's quite a statement.
It is.
And it really shows how deeply she believes in this. She suggests practicing gratitude will be effective, leading to a wonderful harvest and not just material stuff.
Right. She says inwardly and outwardly.
Exactly. Leading to being healthy and wealthy inside out. So it's about emotional, spiritual well-being, too.
And there's definitely a call to action in there. She encourages people to invest in yourself using these ministry tools.
Yeah, she doesn't see them as just notebooks.
Clearly not.
For her, they're tools for growth, for spiritual development, things that can actively help you make positive changes. And she ties this back to having a clear vision.
Ah, the Habakkuk verse.
Right. Habakkuk. Write the vision down and make it plain. She positions the gratitude journal as part of making your vision clear.
So writing down what you're grateful for is also kind of solidifying what you hope for, what you want to see happen.
That's a really interesting way to put it.
Yeah, it's like gratitude gets woven into the process of dreaming and then achieving.
Exactly. It suggests gratitude isn't just looking back or appreciating now, but it's also shaping your focus for the future. And Dr. Pill's expectation, the end result she talks about, is that when you see these blessings happen, you become more than grateful. It fuels this positive loop.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for you, the learner. Dr. Pell's message really seems to start with something simple. Acknowledging gratitude.
Even for tiny things.
Even for tiny things, and especially when things are hard. And this consistent practice, journaling, praying, it can deepen.
Yeah, evolve over time.
And potentially lead to what she calls manifestation positive changes showing up in life. And the journal itself is presented as a key tool in that.
A tool to help focus your vision and keep that spirit of thankfulness going.
Exactly. We hope this deep dive gave you a clear, concise handle on Dr. Pell's perspective on gratitude journaling and its potential impact. Some insights without, feeling overwhelming.
Hopefully just some useful food for thought.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, considering Dr. Pell's point about being thankful even for a little.
Yeah.
What's one small thing, maybe something unexpected, that you, the learner, could acknowledge with gratitude today? And just notice, how might that tiny act shift your perspective, even just a little? Something to mull over.